YouTube, how we doing? Pass the prop back here yet again. It is Monday show. We have our recap. We got Monday Night Football. We got 2 games today. The whole world is pretty much down here with AWS or whatever all being down. So I don't know if you saw my thumbnail. I couldn't even make it because the site that I use is down with all that. I know like Venmo, Snapchat, all these crazy big ass things are down. So yeah, if you're wondering why there was no thumbnail, it's just a logo. That is why, because that app is obviously down today as well. But joined as always, Stu. How you doing, man?
I mean, yeah, we got to get this Venmo thing figured out because I'm expecting some bookie payments today, and we got to get that in on time. I pay on time; they got to pay on time. So we got to get this Venmo thing figured out at least. But yeah, that's kind of funny. I did notice the thumbnail. I just figured you might have just got off work or something like that, and you were just in a rush. But hey, whatever works. We don't need a thumbnail. We don't need graphics. We don't need anything. We got bets. That's what matters, and we got some good games to talk about as well. So. Excited to let people trickle in a little bit here. I see I already got sports in the chat over there. And, yeah, excited to have a good show today.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Obviously, a good week of football for us. Some fun games, some really fun games. Unfortunate news for your team. Obviously, we can kind of start with Jane Daniels' injury. Anything you wanna talk about with that?
I mean, it sucks. I don't know. Like, that game was just a bummer. When people asked me on the show, like, I was clear on the Cowboys. Like I said, I didn't have much hope for Washington. I didn't have much optimism. So, yeah, the game went how I expected it to. Washington does not really have a defense that I thought could get enough stops. And then with all their injuries on offense, I don't really get why the number was the way it was, because one team, they both have no defense, and one team has CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, and the other has Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey, not Christian, Luke. So it's one of those things that's like, I didn't really understand what was going on there, to be honest, and not really a coaching edge either way. Schottenheimer, in my opinion, I would say one of the 5 best so far this year, probably 5th, 6th, something like that. So yeah, it's just it was a tough one, and then Daniels going down, that you never want to see that, especially living through the RG3 era and everything like that. It's like I'm used to seeing the quarterbacks go down. So hopefully it's just a minor thing. It looks like a hamstring, maybe a week or 2. I think we got one of the best backup quarterbacks in football. But it doesn't really matter when you don't have any weapons, and I wrote this up for my write up for Daniels' longest completion. Washington, people have been playing so much man coverage, so much cover 1 against them, because they're just like, fuck it. Like, you guys can't beat our guys, even if our guys suck. The Cowboys played the most man coverage of the season, missing multiple starting players, like no Diggs, like random guys are playing man coverage because Washington's wide receivers aren't going to win. You know what I mean? And this is a coordinator, right? Eberflus, a guy that is the most committed to zone out of any guy maybe in football. And he went man because he's like, these guys are bums. And he was right. So it's unfortunate. You can't really win football games like that. So hoping for a bounce back. I think we're playing the Chiefs next week as like 10-point dogs. So that's going to be a bloodbath. I think that's in prime time too, which would suck. But, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious when they play because I know the Packers are the Sunday night game this week. Because they get Rodgers. They're going to play Rodgers in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's going to be fun. I wish your Packers look good because I want to buy low on the Steelers after everyone is mad.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what they do in that game just because, Pittsburgh's fucking run defense was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous there. So, obviously, LaFleur, a guy who loves to do the motion, loves to give the receivers carries. Jacobs, obviously, another 2-touchdown game, even though he was sick for a couple games. I know everybody wanted to bet Emmanuel Wilson. I'm like, dude, if Jacobs ain't like fucking hurt, bro, that dude's going to play. Like, that dude doesn't really sit too many games there. But I guess we could kind of talk about one of the more fun games of the week, the Chargers-Colts, and the Colts just lay the fucking wood again, dude. Like, but that Chargers team's bad. That defense is bad. Like, they're kind of pushing to be like the Cowboys, bro, in my opinion. Like, they're just trying to be – they don't really run the ball anymore. Like, they don't care.
You can't. Like, they had 2 of the best offensive linemen in football, They lost them both, and now and their backups too. Some Pipkin, some of these other guys who sucks is out too. So the photos are like a bald 38-year-old guy. When you click on who the offense, like where did this guy go to college? You know what I mean? It's like who the fuck are these people? That's who they're starting at offensive line. And then okay, at least you had a guy like Hampton who you can trust. Not maybe the best back, but he's a gritty guy. He'll keep the lines moving. Okay, he goes down too. You got fucking Vidal and Hassan Haskins. Hassan Haskins, fucking nepotism hire. That's just his boy from college. He's not meant to actually be playing real snaps. Vidal has had one good game in his career. It was against the Dolphins, the worst rush defense possible. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I've always been a Herbert guy. And it's good to see that he was getting the love at the beginning of the year. I don't think we should be so quick to like turn it back on him. He's been given quite literally the worst situation possible around him. So when you have that on offense too, it then affects your defense. Because once again, Minter was the guy after the first couple of weeks, people were talking head coach next year. I think Minter is a good coach, but when your defense is out there all day long, you can't get off the field. Your offense doesn't help you out enough. Or even when Herbert does score, it's normally like a quick strike. Then defense right back out on the field. It's just a rough situation. They finally got Mac back, but their defense is injured too. Like, I don't know. The Chargers are in a rough spot right now. It's one of those things where injuries just kind of hit them in a pretty bad way. So maybe I'm a Herbert apologist, but I'm not ready to, be super critical on the team right now. Maybe, until they get some healthier offensive line, hopefully.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying more like defensively. We were talking about this being a good defense, and you could say they're on the field a lot. Sure, second half, sure. But when you're getting fucking 3 straight touchdowns to start the game, and no, like not even a sniff of a stop. Like I don't even know if I saw a third down on those drives, because obviously I had that game on for the first like 30 minutes before the Cowboys game and the Packer game came on. So it was just Jonathan Taylor run. Oh, now we go Tyler Warren, and we're in the end zone. But yeah, I thought their defense would be a lot better than that, especially with the Harbaugh, as the coach there. So,
yeah. I mean, to be fair though, once again, the Colts are the second best. Technically, they're the best offense in football, but I'm not going to say that over the healthy Chiefs now. So the Colts are the second best offense in football. So it's not a good matchup. You know what I mean? Like, and also Steichen is obviously the best game planner in football. So like finished so far this year, coach of the year, favorite in my opinion, in my book, and hopefully the sports book as well. So, it's interesting. The Colts are one of those teams where it's funny, the reaction to them is the same. Every single person says it. They go, there's something about this team I just don't trust. I can't put my finger on. I don't know what it is. It's fucking Daniel Jones. What do you guys talk? We all know what you're like. He's proven that he can be the guy. He's won all these games. Like, he's in a good situation now. Like, it's just so funny to see people be like, I just can't figure it out. What do I not like about this team? It's like, we know what you mean when you say that, and he's doing his job. He's looked great. And I think we're going to keep kind of cruising until the postseason. I think that obviously will be the real test. But they can run the ball. They can get gritty as well. It doesn't have to just be a nice game plan. They give me like a lot of Lions vibes. That's the team comp in my opinion, because also they have no corners right now as well, so they can't really play defense. That was like the best garbage time game of the year. Just everyone's prop I think cashed in that game, like just full on both teams just scoring for the love of the game. So that was a good one.
Yeah. No, I was losing you a little bit there. Just I don't know if that was me, so I had to check my phone and make sure I could hear you fully on the site there. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I was a Daniel Jones truther before the season started. Obviously, my best ball. I don't know if I was one of the first ones on him, but obviously I have a lot of Daniel Jones. He's like my second most exposed quarterback in best ball, so I'm feeling pretty damn good about that so far this year. So yeah, that's why I was trying to check now. Yes.
Okay, I just changed it, so it should be better.
I couldn't hear you. That's why I was trying to pull up on my phone to see if I could hear on the actual site. But yeah, I was just like going a little off. But yeah, any other games that you want to touch on before we move on to our recap from the day?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say game of the week, right? I mean, that freaking Broncos, the one that stole the show, Broncos Giants. I mean, what a weird game. Like, in my Discord, I was typing like, oh, like everyone thought Dart was going to get the fraud check, but Bo Nix got the surprise fraud check. And then out of nowhere, 30 points in the fourth quarter. Like
33.
Yeah. What a what a game. Like, I don't even know where to start. Like, no team even impressed me in the end. I'm still like, you guys both kind of suck, but it was just insane. I don't have words. It was just an insane game. I'm very glad that Washington was a blowout so I could turn that on at least and enjoy something, because just pure madness. And Dart, people are still kind of hating on him. I feel like he's earned some love too. I mean, they didn't win. I get it. It's a collapse, but that's the Broncos. The Broncos are fucking good. He did not make them look good. And good quarterbacks have played the Broncos and not looked that good. So I don't know. It was an interesting game, I would say. Shout out to, Dart at first, and then obviously I hate Bo Nix, so I'm rooting on his downfall.
Yeah, he's it's interesting. I'm really concerned that Cam Scatterbo is going to get a fucking 9,000. That dude's got to have 9,000 concussions, bro. Like the video of him running into a dude. He ran into that guy 3 yards into the end zone head first. I'm like, why? Like, dude, you're in the end zone. Just pull up and go left. And he just decided to just full on go after this corner that literally had no thoughts of being there. So thought that was funny there. Obviously, defensively, I don't know what the fuck happened. I had the Giants defense in DFS and still ended up being positive. I don't know how, but they had a lot of sacks early on in the game that kind of kept it up there. But yeah.
Hey, I told everyone it was the Browns. I never say this. I never give fantasy advice. Okay, it's not my thing. But every team had the Browns. I opened up my app. I was like, "Yep, that went exactly how I fucking thought it would." So I bet it was probably chalk in DFS, and people want to get away from the chalk. I don't know if that's true or not, but that would be my guess. But sometimes you just got to embrace the chalk when it's the fucking Browns against Tua in the rain. I mean, this guy can't throw it 25 yards in normal conditions. What's going to happen in the rain? So, yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. One more thing. People blame McDaniels. Why hasn't he not been fired yet? Maybe he doesn't have the locker room. Obviously, we don't know the dynamics or whatever, but coaches that get fired and then would immediately be hired by good teams, like the owners never want to be responsible for that. That's why Stefanski, some of these other guys, like that's a good coach. The team fucking sucks, but imagine the Dolphins offense without this guy scheming them up. Like imagine Tua without the most tailored scheme in football for him. Because look what happened when a non-McDaniel coach tried to work with him. Brian Flores almost ruined his whole coaching career because he couldn't fucking figure out how to get this guy in a winnable situation. McDaniels has tailored everything to getting the most out of Tua's skill set. And at the end of the day, you're not going to win in the modern Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen NFL that way unless you got an awesome defense on the other side, and they don't have that either. So you can point the finger at this guy. I get he's kind of a, nerdy guy. Like there's some things to make fun of him, whatever, sure. But McDaniels is a great offensive mind. And the reason he hasn't been fired is because he's going to go right back to San Francisco, be lead offensive assistant, and then be an offensive coordinator for a good team next year. And everyone's going to get mad at you and call you stupid. How did we let this guy out the door?
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. For sure. Do we want to go down this road of the Eagles and the Vikings game? I think that was 20. I think I had the dog on Minnesota. I still don't like that defense, bro. Like I saw the pick six and I'm like, oh shit. I had them in fantasy and then I watched and they still gave up like 400 yards. So
it was a good game for Hurts. Like you should be happy, like no doubt about it. Like it had some great throws as well, one-on-one downfield, and he took advantage. It's why whenever someone asked me about under longest completion, I was like, no.
Yeah,
like, no, that's the one thing he's good at. Yeah. Like I don't want to mess with that. And then also sports just said it 2 words. I mean, we saw Carson Wentz as well. There's some good sometimes, and then there's some really bad, and we saw the really bad. So I don't know. I mean, it was obviously good offensive performance, but none of the Eagles wins have been, super impressive. If you guys see, your buddies last year, the Rams back in the playoffs again this year, with how you're looking right now, I would not be feeling super good about your chances. So, there's a lot of time to turn it around. And we've seen the Eagles do it before, but I just think maybe we weren't accounting for the losses on defense enough, obviously coming into the season, especially when looking at how some of these guys have done, like Milton Williams, who just transformed the Patriots line into being like awesome this year, or at least part of that. Like, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm curious how they patch these holes as the season goes, because there are clear holes, and last year there really weren't, and that's what made you guys such a mind fuck. Is like you're not really weak anywhere. So how do you beat a team like that? You have like 4 visible weaknesses right now. You're just like everyone else, you know. So it doesn't mean the Eagles are not going to win. They got a lot of time. That offensive line gets healthier. Saquon figures it out. Maybe he needs to get healthier. I'm not sure what's going on there. But you know, right now the current iteration of the Eagles, I don't think many teams would be, you know, running away scared or anything like that, you know?
Yeah, they got to get back at Sirianni and that punchable face, you know, like they're all going to give them their best shot on that. But yeah, I played Saquon in fantasy this week and I was sitting and I'm feeling fucking awesome about it. Dude, I had like 4 fucking points. So it was a good week to face Saquon there. So yeah, it was good. So should get another win on the fantasy record book. So let's see. I'm just looking through.
Hey, highlight that comment real quick. Monotone doubted Jalen and the Eagles last year. I bet on the Eagles to win.
He literally had them in this championship,
before
bro.
the season started. I bet the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I will always hate the Eagles because we are. I'm a Washington fan. We are rivals, and you guys also. You know this. Your fan base sucks. You know, like most part, you guys suck. Like, yeah, I don't know. So we're always gonna fight. I'm always gonna send jabs, but at the end of the day, money talks. I make decisions that way, bets, all that stuff. And if I see opportunities to make money on them, to bet on them, I will. I don't see it this year. You know what I mean? I don't see it this year. Yeah, there we go. Andrew hit it. Yeah. I don't doubt you. I hate you. There we go. Yeah. Nailed it. There we go.
Yeah.
In the Discord, I wrote a fucking essay defending the Eagles last night. There's a crazy guy in there, you know?
Oh, man.
We can move it on. I literally, at like 1 a.m, wrote like 2 whole paragraphs. You know how long that is in a text message? I was laying in bed defending the Eagles. And, you know, this is what I get. I can never win.
No, it's a Philly fan, man. It's a Philly fan. I mean, I feel like it's very...
I'm trying to show
I feel like we're very, very different breeds than the Philly fan can be, you know, like I don't know, like I don't think the brains are like they're like anything bad said at any point is just automatic, just like, oh my god, you hate us, fuck you. Like it's
yeah. I don't know.
But thank you, Saquon. I appreciate you for giving me a fantasy win this week of getting 4 fucking points. I appreciate that. You know, MVP or offensive player of the year. Yes, last year I needed that show out this week. So, let's. I do want to get one last thing before we get going. Who's going out? I know we talked about Mike McDaniels. How long you think Glenn's going?
It's pathetic that he's still here. Like I don't know. I ranted about it for like 5 minutes last week. I don't know what else to say. I don't even want to talk about the Jets ever again. Fuck, like Glenn is worse than Urban Meyer. That's my only comment. Like we shouldn't be giving him this grace. I don't know what first year, you know, head coach, whatever, but he fucking sucks. The whole world can tell. Like what does he do well? Defense, that's his thing. They're not a good defense. Like penalties galore. Offense looks terrible. He's a joke in the media. Like, there's just no reason for this guy to be around. So yeah, I hope it's very soon. Maybe 2 weeks from now. I don't know when their bye is. I don't know what's going on there, but
yeah. My bet would be with you, Sue, or not really a bet, but like what you would think. Do you think he gets fired before they win a game? Before he ever wins a game?
Well, without looking at their schedule, I'll just say yeah. I'll say they fire him before they win it because I don't know how many games I don't know who this team can really beat right now. But
Titans.
Do they play him soon? Is that like
no? I didn't know. I just
Browns maybe, but I think the Browns would just run on them all day and win. So I don't know. Although Judkins, last thing, come on, bro, 75 yards in the first half. You couldn't get 15 more. Really? You went -2 more than you went forward? Like, what the fuck was that? I wasn't watching, obviously, because who the fuck was watching the second half of that game? I'm just opening up ESPN being like, you had 75 yards at halftime, and you have less than that now. And we're in, like, the fourth. Like, what's going on? So that was a bummer.
Yeah, I got nervous because I had him 70. I had him 70 rushing yards. And I'm like, I marked it as a cash because I'm like, this guy can't literally lose that much. Yeah. It was not good. But talking about the Titans a little bit. We did cash my play this week. Let me pull up mine here. We got 50 of you guys here in the chat. We appreciate you guys joining us on your Monday afternoon. Dak 250. Holy shit, that was sweaty, dude. Jaden Daniels going out made it sweaty. Marcus Mariota being fucking trash, throwing a pick six. Gets me another one there. So I'm like, bro, this is his last chance. And then they throw it on the first down when they're trying to run out the play. And then they don't run it or they don't pass the rest of the game. I'm like, holy fuck, Dak. I love this man. Dak is obviously – I have a group chat with my buddies called the Dak chat now. We all just put in a bet on him to win MVP at 35-1. I have no other superlatives for Dak Prescott. This dude has been a wizard for me this year. I have nothing else here, but wow, dude, fuck, that was scary.
Yeah, no, I was probably just gonna play his regular yards before this. Then I was like, no, I'll just do this instead. Obviously, I'm glad I did because, it was scary. And like when the pick six happened, I was like, oh damn, it really is over now because he just takes away a full possession. You're like, ah. And obviously, I texted you. I think like Washington would need to like immediately score, immediately, because that's always when you know your bet's fucked. When you're like, okay, we need this.
I know. I'm thinking about it's like the thing in the head, just flipping it around. What the fuck we're doing here?
But hey, you made it. That's what matters.
Woo, yeah. Patriots scared me a little bit, but then they laid the wood the second half. Yeah. Obviously, defensive touchdown, everything through there. Yeah, dude. I don't even know if Dak actually hit his actual prop. I don't think he did.
I don't think
it was
like
270 there. But yeah, Dak, I continue to bench Jaden Daniels. I think I've started him once this year. And Dak has been doing his thing, dude. He's now, of course, like 30 yards behind Herbert because Herbert threw for 400 last week. So he's in second place now after a 400-yard game from Herbert. But he's in second for yards past Stafford, which was big because obviously Stafford with Puka there is just a cheat code there. So, but yeah, we're fighting with Herbert there, and hopefully their running backs can get healthy because I think that Chargers team will be able to run the ball a little better than what they've shown here recently. I think Alt might be back next week too, which would be obviously very big.
Yeah, that's the hope. So,
yeah. All right, talking about Big Stafford, we'll talk about this one here.
Yeah, winning. Well, you're back to winning him now. You didn't win, so you're back to winning him. Unfortunately, didn't get the job done. I don't even know what he ended up with. I think like 2 catches.
I had to start him in fantasy this week because I have Garrett Wilson. I have who else did I have? I have Garrett Wilson, Calvin Ridley, and then 2 buys. So I had to start him. I almost had to start. It was either him or Malik Washington, and I should have started Malik Washington, but it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things where 11 guys caught a pass before him, including 4 different tight ends were targeted before him. Like Stafford came out firing, and he just wasn't one of the guys. And then the next drive, he gets 3 targets all in one drive. But then by the second quarter, this game's over. Halftime, this game's over. I mean, the game was over at halftime, so you didn't really need to throw the ball much. I think he got 1 little garbage time catch, barely threw the ball, and didn't go over. I think this one easily goes over if the Jags put up a fight, but obviously we got a very pathetic performance from them. So yeah, it was a unfortunate L right here with just no passing after that early onslaught, and he just wasn't as big of a part of it as we'd hoped.
Yeah, dude, I feel bad for all these international people paying for tickets and having to watch the fucking Jaguars because that's really what it's been. So, but yeah, we did Kendre tore his ACL. He's out for the year. And then Daniels got hurt. And he had 8 in the beginning of the third quarter. And I'm like, fuck yeah, we're going to get there. I just need Daniels to keep it close. Yeah, dude, I felt really good about that plus 500 going into halftime. And then obviously the Washington should have been. But all right, Stu, we are on to today. 49 of you guys in here live with us. We appreciate you. Hit that like button if you could. Subscribe to the channel. I know the thumbnail ain't there, but it will normally be there. I promise. It'll normally be there. I usually try to have one at least on the show here. But we have 2 good games tonight, man. 2 good games. Obviously good in their own ways. Obviously the Lions going to be at home here tonight. That's going to be Tampa Bay. I think they're like 6-point dogs.
It's not even worse than that.
No, it's I'm on DraftKings right now. It's 6.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's 53.5 on the over-under there, Stu. I'll kick it over to you to talk about this one. One of the four sides that you'd like best here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have a good answer for that one. I mean, normally I have more of an opinion, but the total, I'm not an over at 53 kind of guy. That's not me. You know, you're never really going to get that from me. So, not maybe lean under slightly, I guess, but I mean, I'm not really. I think Detroit's the better team. Like Tampa Bay's been doing a lot of awesome stuff, and we all love them, and it's very cool. And Baker's, fun, and they're just like a good team to root for. But I think the Lions, after kind of a rough start to the season, have shown that they're probably. I mean, they're one of the 5 best teams in football this year. So, 6 is a lot of points, though, man. Like, especially with a guy like Baker can backdoor. I think Ibuka playing will mean something to this. I think that's almost worth like a point because he was obviously looking like trending towards out and then gets a late practice. And then it's like, oh, maybe he's actually going to play now. So it's looking a little bit more positive. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Tampa Bay, I guess I would just dog or pass, but I'm not going to bet this, obviously, if you can tell, I assume by the tone of my voice there. But, like, it's just a close, fun game. I'm so pumped for this. I think this is going to be, like, viewer-wise, amazing. We got 2 great run defenses and 2 bad pass defenses. Come on, let's go. I'm ready for it. Like, it's going to be a good game. I expect some fireworks. So, I guess dog or pass would probably be my thoughts here, but definitely excited for it. Should be a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, I think I would lean with probably even just Tampa team total here too. I think they'll be able to put up some points in this one. I don't know. I feel like I would bet the over at 53.5 probably. I would like it to maybe go down a little bit, but I mean, how much does it go up if they rule all these guys in? That's the thing is you're just waiting on Ibuka. You're waiting on all this stuff. I thought there was no chance Ibuka was playing this week, and I will tell you right now, I will not be betting Ibuka when you have a hamstring injury. There's no chance I even come close to betting him. If anything, I'm probably just going to be looking at Evans possibly as a guy. I'm assuming he's got to be fully healthy. He's old, right? But that staff ain't going to bring him in if he's, too early. So, like the spot, I actually kind of like Detroit's offense to just smoke these dudes this week. My issue is are we going to just see them just run the ball and just because they think they can, or are they going to do the easier route, which is just fucking throw the ball all over the place here? Yeah, I think it's just a air raid type of day, and we'll talk about it here. Both of our props are in this game, so I'll kick it over to you, Sue, to start us off. We still got 50 people here in the chat. We appreciate you guys popping in here. I'll kick it over to you, Sue.
Sounds good. We're going to go Rachaad White right here, an old friend. We're going to go over 3.5 catches. Minus 128 is the best. Everything's in that general range. And yeah, I mean, Rachaad White is a guy that I've had a long history betting on, starting out mostly negative, a lot of unders, under rush yards back when he was a bell cow, the number 1 guy. And then we obviously got the Bucky Irving era taking over a little bit more. But now, guess what? Rachaad White's back to being the full usage guy, 80% workload. Like, he's the number 1 clear number 1 usage guy. So when you look at this defense on the other side, Lions 5th best DVOA rush defense on the season. They've been just historically very good at kind of limiting rushing yards, being a good pass funnel. What I think is really interesting about this game will be the Lions' defensive philosophy, because the whole world can talk about it. And I've read a lot of bets from a lot of different people, and I think it's very interesting how people are approaching it, right? Because the Lions are an aggressive defense. At heart, they play a lot of man coverage. They're way more comfortable in cover 1 than most teams. They do not sit back in this, Tampa 2, keep everything underneath, check down. That's not how the Lions roll. That's not how they play. And they also are a team that they tend not to blitz as much either when they're fully held, in past years at least. But what's interesting about this game is you have no secondary right now, right? You have you've lost all your, it's crazy. No Branch, no Joseph, Arnold, who isn't great, but has gone.
Yeah, Arnold's bad, and he's still probably better what they got.
Exactly. And then Reed, who they lost a week before, is really good and one of the more underrated guys as well. So, they're real banged up. And so what I'm seeing everyone do is everyone is still kind of expecting that they're going to play defense the same way that they do when they have all their starters. And I think that's a scary proposition because we tend to see teams be more conservative. When you don't have the talent, you have to do something to make up for it. And normally it's going to be, okay, let's sit back in more of a zone. They have Mike Evans, let's safety attention to Mike Evans all night long. Let's not let them beat us over the top. And let's calm things down. Do I think the Lions are going to fully do this? Not really. But do I think that it's just going to be a full-on one-for-one same defense with just all backup players and man coverage all night long? That sounds crazy to me. I don't know why we would assume that. So I think when I'm looking at this game, I'm trying to think, what are the Lions going to do to compensate for the fact that they are down their whole secondary right now? How do you win a game like that? In my opinion, you got to get home with the pass rush. Your guys up front need to win. That needs to be the messaging all year long, is that we don't have a chance unless you guys are creating mayhem, you're creating havoc. We need to be winning at the line. I think we're going to see more blitzing. I think we're going to see more aggression there. And then once again, especially if Ibuka isn't playing, you're going to see safety attention with Mike Evans all night long. It's going to be a backup safety, but 2 bodies is still better than 1 body, right? So when you take him out and then you look at what are the other options, either banged up Ibuka, who will still play a part, no doubt about it, or Cade Otton. Beyond that, obviously, we have a couple guys like Tez who clearly can flash down the field, but I'm talking about consistent chain moving, right? Who are really the options? I think it's Cade Otton, Rachaad White, and a little bit of Baker legs. And when you have to worry about Baker's legs, that's just another thing a linebacker has to be focused on rather than the check down. So when I look at this game, in my mind, I'm just trying to think, how can the Lions compensate for these losses? I'm not looking at past data. I'm not looking at what they've done so far this year because these aren't the same players. I'm trying to think, how can they – and it's tough because it's a first-year defensive coordinator, so you don't have that past history of what does he do in similar situations. From the small sample I've seen this year so far, I do believe the Lions will still be more aggressive than most. I still think they'll play some man coverage and still, not fully go conservative zone, but it makes logical sense. If Mike Evans is the guy you have to worry about not beating you, and beyond that, it's Cade Otton and Rachaad White checkdowns, that's probably what the coaching staff is going to want. And that's what we always talk about. I want to be on the same side of the coaching staff. So I feel like if I'm the Lions, I'm looking at this game we're going to let Baker Mayfield go 1 check down at a time. We're not going to let this game get out of control. And then we're going to let one of the best offenses in football score on their shit defense. And we're going to control the game that way. And to me, that makes the most logical sense. So that's what I'm basing my bets off of. And I think Rachaad White is a clear beneficiary of turning up the heat, more blitzing, aggressive defensive line, because guess what? Get the ball out quickly, allow those dump downs. I don't know if the yardage is going to be as good. The linebacker core is very good. They're a very heavy 3 linebacker team. Anzalone is fantastic as well in coverage. But I think Auden is going to be a guy that sees a lot of that as well. And you got to account for Baker's legs. So I think it's just going to be a lot of dump downs. And White is, clearly the passing down running back. So shootout potential, game script, 2-minute drills could really feed us right here. There's a lot of paths to victory for Rachaad White. And the final thing I'll say is I was looking – I got a little deja vu, when I was thinking writing this up earlier, and I searched on Twitter. I literally found a clip from last year that I posted of you and me doing the show, same exact matchup. And I took Rachaad White over 3.5 catches against the fucking Lions. Guess what? 2023, I kept scrolling down. Same exact matchup. Rachaad White under rush yards, over receiving yards against the fucking Lions. We're going to make it 3 years straight, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, dude, I just think this game is going to be just crazy, man. I think this is going to be just crazy. And you know what I also think? I think you could see what happened yesterday. I don't know if you watched the San Francisco game and just McCaffrey put on a clinic. But McCaffrey, like chip pass blocking and then just turn around.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, it's literally the same thing I see with Rachaad White. I'm like, dude, that shit works because nobody's taking you, right? Nobody is who's going to guard someone blocking somebody? They're not just going to stand in the middle of the field and do nothing. And that's the guy who usually just takes 2 steps and turns around there. So one other thing I do want to bring up is what if Ibuka's out today, what other receiver are you going to? There's obviously no Ott, no Evans. We won't go there. But are you looking more towards a Sterling Shepard? Because I know down in 10 minutes, we're going to get the long shot stuff. Someone's going to bring up somebody. So I'm just going to get this out now because this is obviously where most people are going to put their bets on is this game. Obviously, we have no bets in the second game. But what's your thoughts there? Obviously, you have Johnson. I think you had 2 Johnsons and Sterling Shepard would be the 3 options there.
Yeah, I mean, there are no lines up, so it's really tricky. There's no like perspective to like judge it off of. But I'd say just in general, like the Johnsons would be like the longest receptions guy downfield, and then Shepard would be more. I trust Shepard to kind of do everything. So I would more be like Sterling Shepard, that's probably the guy just because he's both outside and in the slot. He can kind of move around, do whatever. And he's just consistent. He's been around, relationship with the quarterback, chemistry, like passing game script. Just seems like Shepard is probably the most safe. But obviously, if you want a heavy touchdown score, maybe a 40-plus yard or, a nice little long shot kind of thing, then I think like Tez could be very interesting for that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just thought I'd bring that up because I know it's going to come up, and I wanted to get ahead of it before we obviously have everybody asking questions about, 4th, 5th, 6th options in this offense because you know how it is. You know how it is when people want those long shots.
Hey, I'm one of those people too, man. I love the backups. I got no problems with that,
Yeah, so I thought we'd get ahead of it because I forget about it if I keep going here. And I'm going to be doing a same-game parlay of just the 2 quarterbacks in this spot. I like what I don't remember who brought it up. The Brian Branch, obviously he's out for punching Juju Smith, Schuster, so he's out too. Probably one of their probably him and Hutchinson, their 2 most important guys on the defense right now. It's gonna have to be the Anzalone show, and Branch literally does everything on this defense for the Lions in the middle, man, and that's why I'm almost liking that bet even more, right, for Rachaad White. Maybe even looking a little bit more towards Cade Otton in there as well, just because. Man, that guy's gone, right? The whole middle of the field will be open. It's just like the Fred Warner miss. Not comparing them in any way, shape, or form, but obviously you could see Kyle Pitts kind of doing his thing yesterday because obviously the first game without Fred Warner, who normally would be covering Kyle Pitts had 9 catches in that game last night or whatever it was. But I think Goff goes crazy tonight. It's just the amount of weapons that you have at his disposal. You got Jameson Williams and Laporta playing well the last couple games. I think those were the top 2 receivers last week. Amon-Ra obviously just moving the chains. I think he had like 9 for 45. But have we seen how bad this Tampa pass defense has been, dude? It's been fucking horrible. Like, what did Mac Jones go for 350 last week? Kendrick Bourne went for 150. Jake Tongas went for 70 receiving yards. Like, you're just going down this list of like everybody who's played them, right? And then obviously, shout out to my boy. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But Sam Darnold going for what, 350 and 4 touchdowns. Like, and the thing is they are good run defense. Like that's literally they take you out of that. And I think that could actually help both of these sides from those 10-minute drives that kind of kill games, right? And talking about 10-minute drives, that Falcons game kind of just took a shit on a lot of those props for everybody because they had the 10-minute drive and only got 3 points out of it, right? So if you had the over, you're screwed. If you have anything else in that, you're kind of screwed there as well. So just kind of looking at the teams that they've faced, and you had the Jets, the lowly Jets. You have the Eagles before they started throwing the ball, right? I mean, 10 catches to Drake London in the first week. Like, there's just a horrible pass defense. And now you have Mayfield getting to play against this pass defense with no Brian Branch, with obviously everybody you talked about, Arnold, and everybody else missing there. I just think this is a type of game where you're just going to start seeing these boys chuck the ball around a little bit. Obviously, that helped both of our props. Obviously, Rachaad White. Honestly, I think Edmonds still has a pretty good game here. I don't really think it matters if he's double teamed because Baker will still force it in there. He's still kind of the gunslinger there. And Mike Evans is still one of the better guys in one-on-one contested catches there. So I just think this is a type of game, even if Ibuka's out, right? I think that they still have enough weapons there. I'll probably have a couple bets on Cade Otton, I'm sure. I always like taking tight ends in these primetime type of games. So I think this is a smash spot for both. I think I saw on Caesars you can get it at a pretty nice price as well, a plus money price. So I do really like Goff specifically, but you can't really pass on Baker with all these injuries, bro. It's kind of crazy. And I kind of like leaning into like the Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta game tonight. These kind of just feel like both of those guys kind of go crazy here, coming off of 2 pretty good games, or a good game for each of them last week. I think they kind of try to keep that going because obviously Amon-Ra in those big games, he's going to get his. But like in these like shootout type of games, I feel like they try to showcase the other weapons. I don't know if that's, the case tonight. But I feel like, Gibbs is still get, 50 receiving yards on top of that. And I'm going to also get his catches. I feel like the big plays tonight are going to be coming, a little bit more from Laporta and J-Mo tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Amon-Ra is just priced accurately, so it's hard to bet him. Like, I would bet Amon-Ra 6.5 catches, but it's 7.5, so it's the highest it's been all year. So it's kind of like harder to get to. But yeah, I mean, I think Amon-Ra is one of those guys that he gets pressured, when Goff is pressured, he's just like the safety valve, just easy, 1-2, just over the middle, quick, keeps the chains moving, and that's valuable in a game like this. But J-Mo is also coming alive recently as well. You got a lot of good weapons on this team. It's what always makes them tough to pick between. So when you are struggling to pick, Goff is like the answer. He's the conductor of the whole thing. He's not like, the best quarterback or whatever, but he gets the job done. He finds the weapons, he feeds them, and he's done a fantastic job of doing that. So I love the combo, obviously. I think it's going to be one of those games.
Yeah, no, and I just don't even know how Tampa's going to do on getting pressure on Goff, just because they have been getting the ball out so fast. It just makes it tough you get guys, downfield. But, it doesn't hurt when you have a fucking 6'5" tight end who just runs like a receiver out there as well that can make things happen after the catch too in Laporta. So it's like, pick your poison, I guess, right? And you've been trying to make a tackle on him in the open field. That's no easy feat. So, should be a fun game tonight there. And we obviously we talked a lot longer on this one than we will on the next one, seeing as we have both of our bets in this game. So we got 53 of you guys in here live. We're going to the next game, Texans at Seattle. I think we got 19 likes. Let's get that to 25. You guys can hit that like button. We appreciate it. And we'll get to play our game number 2. And we have the Texans heading to Seattle. Seattle's actually not been that good at home, I think, money line wise. I think they've actually lost quite a few games at home this year. But they get to take on Texans coming off a bye week. The line's been kind of sitting around the 3.5 all week. Seattle obviously coming off of some crazy games here. The pick by Darnold at the end of last week. Should be a really fun game. Stu, I'll kick it over to you again to start us off. What are you thinking, man? We can find 3.5. So I guess if you want to go Texans side and want to go 3.5, I'll give you that because I do see multiple books with that. It's kind of juiced to the 3. But any thoughts on this game before we break it down?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it was 3.5, but there's a 3 minus 110 right on DraftKings, and that's one of the better prices of the week now. So it does seem like maybe there's some money coming in on that Houston side to kind of normalize it a little bit. So I like that much more for the Seattle side. Obviously, that hook is so big, especially when you have 2 defensive-oriented teams. Getting over 3 would be really, really tricky for me. So I don't think I'm going to bet the side in this game today. Maybe the under lean on the total, but Seattle can score. They can score quick. And my problem with the Texans, and I don't know if my boy Coop is in here, if he can attest to this, like they have a good defense. They always give up one huge play a game. Like it's in their blood. It's very weird. The explosive play just always comes out, probably from trusting your guys in more man and being aggressive and that kind of stuff. You just naturally give up those big ones. And JSN has been a walking big play this year. Obviously, you got guys like Horton as well, some Kenny as well out of the backfield, Kenneth Walker that can pop off. So, I'll take Seattle minus 3. If we're just getting it at the base right there, I think that's solid. To me, it comes down to something very simple. I was high on Seattle coming into the season, and I was very low on the Texans. So, yeah, it's pretty simple. You know what I mean? At this point, there's not much. I think I've been proven fairly solid in those thoughts so far, but the Texans off of bye is scary. That with that defense as well, you got to respect them. You got to give that credit. And yeah, I was talking to PPS about this before the show. If you do like this, by the way, 25.5 on FanDuel. Everywhere else, 27.5. That's a big deal. So go to FanDuel, get that better number if you like it.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. It's tough for me because you guys know how big of a fan I am of Seattle. I'm like overly a fan of Seattle. Obviously, I have their futures bet. I have a couple other bets. I have a decent amount of Darnold in best ball. I have JSN as my third most owned best ball receiver. So I've been chilling, man. I've been feeling pretty good with my read on Seattle here. I don't know. I'm weirdly, I'm nervous because I'm always nervous when a team's coming off a bye and I actually respect their head coach. There aren't that many that I respect, like to the point where I would use it like this, but I do think D'Amico is a good head coach here. So that always kind of gives me a tiny bit of pause, especially with that defense. So I think if I had to bet anything, I'd probably bet the under here. I think this one might get a little sloggy. And knowing the fact that 50% of the running back touches are going to Charbonnet, I ain't got to worry about points getting scored on those drives. So that's like 4 drives a game that are automatic punts whenever Charbonnet comes in. So I think if I had to bet anything, I think that would be my lean versus taking a side.
Yeah, something I was thinking too is like, I'm trying to find what the line is, but like, if you think that, I don't know, like, what's the path to Houston winning, right? It's their defense causing mayhem. You know what I mean? It's that defense like absolutely game wrecking. And what happens when Sam Darnold gets under pressure? That's when the meltdowns happen. Those are the historically bad games for Sam Darnold. So if he does go full meltdown, the pass rush is connecting all night long. The Texans could, I mean, obviously they could win this, but I feel like they could kick their asses as well. So it's almost one of those things where like I'm looking at it like -6 is like plus 330 for the Texans, you know, like a -10 could even be like a plus 600 kind of thing, plus 550. Like, honestly, I think if the Texans win, the path is you get the Sam Darnold that sees ghosts. You know what I mean? And the Texans, D'Amico Ryans, he can make you see ghosts. So I don't know if I'm going to get to with you that he's a good head coach. He's a fucking great defensive mind. That's what he is. Is he a great head coach? Maybe. If they can win a playoff game, maybe. But until then, he's a great defensive mind, and that's what is your path to beating a guy like Darnold. You know, so. I think that it'll be interesting. I'm excited. This is like at 10 o'clock, by the way. This is super late, right? Isn't this the one that's like super late?
I don't think it's crazy late, is it? I know it's later than obviously usual. Obviously, you're an hour behind me, so
yeah.
I think it comes on by me at like, is it 8:30, 9?
I think it's like 9:15 yours or like 10:15 mine.
Holy
which will be the latest of the year.
They're going to get the whole game in first before that game starts.
Yeah,
that's
which
crazy.
Is like, I mean, I know they're testing it because they change it every week. So they're trying to get market information and, you know, decide what they go forward or whatever. But it's fucking annoying for us East Coasters being the fucking test dummies. Like, I don't know how I'm going to make it. I got, shit to do tomorrow, but either way, I'm excited for it. It should be a good one. I was going to say I'm excited for it, but then I was going to say I might fall asleep during this game as well. It's not even their fault. It's just late as fuck. But it's honestly 2 really good head coaching staffs as well. One side on the defense, and I mean, actually both sides on the defense. McDonald as well. That's obviously his whole calling card. So I'm excited. I think both of these quarterbacks can melt under the pressure. You know, this could be the funniest. I'm just spitballing right now. This could be the funniest quarterback rushing parlay of all time, by the way, where these defenses just kind of have them both go for like a 20-yard scramble. I bet the odds would be insane on something like that. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a chaotic game, and whichever team can, stand the chaos more is going to be the one left standing.
Yes, sir. I'm obviously hoping Seattle can win with San Francisco just continuing to win games, dude. They just continue to find a way to win games over there. But yeah, let's get a quick recap in here, Stu, and then we still got 53 of you guys in here live. If you have any questions, drop them in now.
Yeah, and I've got a long shot too that I can fire off in that second game as well. We got Rachaad White over 3.5 catches, -128. It's widely available. I'd play it to around the -140, -145 range.
Awesome. And I'm going to go Goff Mayfield, same game parlay, -115 on DraftKings, plus I think it's plus 115 on Caesars if you have that book available. So, Stu, going to a long shot. I might have one too as well tonight. So we'll take a peek here. What are you rolling with?
Yeah, I'm going to try to pull up the best price. We're going with Elijah Arroyo, anytime touchdown. And we are okay. Well, let's see what the best price is. I think it's plus 900 is the best price.
I didn't see that line when I looked at this game.
Because right now, 365 has 900 and MGM has 700, which are both like very good. But I'm trying to see if it's still up right now. But yeah, I love Elijah Arroyo has been one of my guys this year. 900 on 365 still. So we're gonna go quarter unit, a little smaller. Obviously, a plus 900 is a big long shot right here. But I'm a big fan of Elijah Arroyo. Through the first 4 weeks of the season, he was tied with JSN in red zone targets. Like, they clearly use him. This is a rookie we're talking about, by the way, from like the jump as a clear red zone option. The biggest annoying part is fucking AJ Barner. It's been good this year. Like, good. And it's annoying because they brought in Arroyo to be this slot weapon, pass catching guy to complement Barner, who's more of a blocker. But if you can be a blocker and then you can catch passes, then you get to beat up on the, Evan Ingram, Elijah Arroyos of the world. Like, that's just you earn it. You know what I mean? If you're a George Kittle, Tucker Kraft kind of running back, you deserve to play more over the non-pass blocking guys. You earn those reps, So that's what hurts Arroyo a little bit. Unfortunately, he's stuck where before he could have been he's still the flashy pass catcher. He goes out wide sometimes. They line him up as a traditional wide receiver all over the place. The creativity is very good. And guess what? He's a big-ass tight end. So one-on-one with a cornerback on the outside, you're going to throw that ball up to Elijah Arroyo. It's one of your best options in the red zone, your best height as well. So once we get down to the red zone, Arroyo will be much more involved. He's a beast. I think I'm a big fan of his skill set. I loved his early season usage. I think this is a creative coaching staff that gets their guys involved, and Arroyo is a mismatch in the red zone. And I think they're going to keep showing that he's a mismatch in the red zone. So big fan of this one right here. Plus 900 is a fantastic price. I would have had it at around plus 500, and MGM is 700, a couple books like that as well. So anything above like 600 is still good for me. I just think the biggest problem is obviously just lack of red zone opportunities. You know what I mean? There's going to be less chances when you got two good defenses. But I trust Arroyo, and I trust this offense more, frankly, than the Texans offense. So like the upside right here, plus 900. Let's ride.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Hutchinson at 40 yards. I think that's going to be where I go. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to play him at plus 350.
I do like this in a way, though. But
it's 40 yards, dude. And this is, and my biggest issue always is just passing volume, right? But you got Nico Collins, obviously. We talked about McDonald's being a great coach defensively. You're going to shut down their number one weapon. I don't think he's going to – I literally have no DFS lineups with Collins in there tonight, and that might kill me. I feel like I'm going to be kind of contrarian, kind of getting killed there. But I'm fading both him and JSN in that late game and just going to, onslaught that first game because, holy shit, that game could go crazy. But I think the reason I also want to go here is just the fact that we have had Christian Kirk out this week. I think I'm going to see a lot more snaps, obviously. He's still getting out there, right? He was still getting out there with Kirk playing, but we only have this first 2-game sample size, right? We have 2-game sample size of him playing without Kirk. Then Kirk came back, and now we had 2 games where it was just blowouts, right? I mean, they were just crazy blowouts, and they just didn't really have to do too much, right? Because we talked about it. They played Baltimore, and Baltimore is just a shell of that team, right? They were horrible, 44-10. There was he had 3 catches in that game, and then they beat Tennessee 26-0, right? And he had 3 catches in that game. Didn't really need to pass in there, right? And then obviously Kirk was there for the Jaguars game and those two. So I think that we're going to start to see I'm guessing it's going to be him over Higgins. I think Higgins is your other option as your, long shotty type of guy on this team because they both kind of are in the same similar role here. But I'm going to guess on Hutchinson to give me that plus 350. I feel like this is a low line for a guy there who's been getting 20 yards consistently with Kirk playing. And I think Seattle's smart enough to take away your best weapons. So I see a lot of people betting on Marks. I saw Marks getting some love on some like receiving yards. It's tough because I think Hutchinson might get more snaps, at least snaps during those passing plays than Marks because we obviously saw the game script flip. But I think both of those guys are good looks here, but I'm going to go with Hutchinson at this price.
Yeah, no, at first, obviously, reaction didn't really like it just because Hutchinson kind of sucks, in my opinion. I've never really been the biggest fan of him. But this is a really good price, honestly, plus 350. And it also capitalizes on some of the contrarian thoughts I have on this game as well, which kind of funnily enough tied back to our last conversation, which is a lot of people are on Higgins and a lot of people are on Marks. And what that implies, they're looking for the rookie bump, right? Off of bye week, your coaching staff wants to get these younger guys more involved. I would argue that is something that I am much more worried about on coaching staffs that I think are offensively inventive or offensively creative. I do not believe that will be the focus for this team. I do not believe getting Jalen Noel, Woody Marks, and Higgins. I would actually not be surprised if Braxton Berrios played more than these guys. I played Braxton Berrios anytime touchdown. I think at like 25-1, I think that's a good look. And it's one of those things where this coaching staff is a defensive coaching staff, and they want to win football games. And they want to win football games, hard-nosed, running the ball, gritty defensive football games. They don't want to draw up fun little fucking play calls like Dan Campbell and those boys were doing for their rookies. That's not what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like I should have said Ben Johnson, not Dan Campbell, but I'm thinking, like those kind of teams. It's not like that. So for me, I'm not on the Higgins bandwagon. I see a lot of smart people on, like guys I respect a lot on it, and I'm just like, I don't think that's what they were doing in this fucking Bible. You know what I mean? I would be – so this kind of plays off of that of like Hutchinson's the guy. He's been here. He knows the system. He has chemistry with the quarterback. I'd rather go with the guy that has all those qualities than the what if, because the what if is fun. It's why we like betting on rookies. It's you're spinning a wheel and you don't know what you're going to get. But – yeah, that's just my thoughts. I'm a little lower on the rookies than most people. So I think that's a good angle. And honestly, for 40 yards plus 350, it's a good price. If you asked me to make it, I probably would have said like 250. You know what I mean? So I like the value. I'm not a fan of the talent, obviously, but you don't have to be for long shots. That's the point. You're looking for opportunity. And, I think this is a good one.
Yeah, we talk about all the time, dude. We ain't betting their freaking straight bet, right? We ain't betting 20 something. What I think it's 22 or whatever it is, 25, whatever his normal line is, right? So, I'd rather go to a plus odd one here, maybe gets one big catch. And mind you, their skill position players are all old, bro, outside of CJ Stroud pretty much. I mean, you got fucking old-ass Dalton Schultz. You got old-ass Nick Chubb. You got old-ass – not old, but Nico Collins ain't a rookie. He ain't in there. This is like his 5th or 6th year in the league here. So, I don't mind the other options here, but I think I'm going to go to the guy who's been there a little bit more and still getting reps even with Christian Kirk playing there. So and we've seen games where those rookies don't even play really. So I think they have a little more confidence in him.
Yeah, it's also this like when you have like 4 like mid guys. From the Texans have always had Mechie was here as well, Hutchinson. All these guys are like, which one of these mid receivers do I pick? And then they're all like, oh, none of these guys are really great. My boy Noah Brown used to be in that group as well before he went to be a mid receiver in DC. That also doesn't play. So I don't know. Like, yeah, it can be a little bit tricky, and obviously the passing volume can be scary. But luckily, both of these two teams, I mean, great run defenses, especially on the Seattle side, 3rd ranked DVOA. So going to force him passing, and maybe CJ Stroud gets it done, maybe not. I don't know. It's been an interesting ride for him, but off a bye week, you'd hope they're kind of locked in here, and Hutchinson has that relationship, so I like it.
Yes, sir. Also, yes, sir.
Final thing I'll say. What would you bet Woody Marks overs or unders? I know you kind of brought it up at the end right there. Did you seriously consider it? Because he's, I feel like, the hottest name maybe on Twitter.
I did, but now I won't. I just see everybody on him, and I'm just gonna pass. I think I'd almost 8.5 rush attempts more than – I know it's contrarian as hell because Seattle's a better run defense, but I've watched a lot of fucking Texans guys, okay? It's Pierce there in fucking 15 carries when he's ass, bro.
Yeah, and Chubb is like, man, maybe the bye helps him because he's 80 years old, and I don't know, but – either way, it's just like, so I feel like people, the rookie thing is like it's a thing, no doubt about it. The rookie bump, we have data, but like that doesn't mean every rookie is just popping off out the bye, just a game of their year, And I bet on Marks like in that Ravens game, and the usage was after like weeks of positive things about Marks was just nope. Sorry, nope. And it's like that's what you can expect from the Texans. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just naturally a little bit more contrarian there, but I've seen so many Woody Marks posts, and it just feels very like it feels like so confident, like he's gonna be that guy. And I'm like, well, we'll see.
I thought that was 2 weeks ago too, when he had that good game, and then he's still sitting on my fucking bench. So
same here. Same here.
All right. Game 7. Hey, I appreciate you bringing that up. It's Game 7 ALCS tonight. I don't know. I think, if anything, I'm taking the plus money on the Mariners in Toronto. It's tough, but Shane Bieber versus Kirby. I'm a fan of Kirby. I think he's a great pitcher. I think that it's going to be a tough game, but I kind of lean with Seattle tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think about that, I guess, with the doubleheader going, but
That might be why it's so late too. Because that game's like 7:30 or 7.
Yeah, well, actually, it looks like 8:10 for the for the baseball game. So there's kind of
okay. So 7. Yeah, I always use my time. I never.
Sure, but that's still the same as the first game. So it's not like you even get an hour.
The first game's at 6, I thought.
Oh, is it that early? I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like an hour. It's probably gonna start at halftime of the first game.
Yeah, that's a lot of sports. That's a lot going on.
On Monday too. I love that shit, bro. I love that shit.
Yeah, but hey, I'll root for the Mariners too. I mean, I don't know. Both these guys are kind of like dogs in the grand scheme of things, you know.
Well, I think
like,
the Toronto. I'm wanting this whole thing with all the money to get figured out in 2027. I hope the season just gets canceled and they just figure this shit out. But for me as a small market team, for probably you guys as well, over there in Washington, Toronto's like a 6th in salary.
True.
Right. So I want it to be Mariners. They're like 11.
That's fair. They just feel spiritually like dogs because they've been shit on by the Yankees and Red
forever.
Sox.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's one of those where I just either one, but you're right. With your argument, that's good enough. I'm with the Mariners as well because fuck the Dodgers, fuck the Mets. Like, you guys, like and I hope the baseball gods can figure this out. There's still time. Everyone's saying it's over. There's still time. Pray to the baseball gods. They can. I don't know how, but they can figure it out. So that's all.
Yeah. No, that's really the only reason. I like both these teams. Obviously, you guys know I'm a huge Blue Jays fan. I love them, but for all the stuff with the
Kirby's a dog. I like Kirby.
Yeah, and all the money and shit. It makes it tough. So, last question. We got Jesse Vance here. I have a 5-leg anytime touchdown parlay. Last leg being Amon-Ra. Should he cash out?
I mean, do you need the money? It depends
if it's life changing. If it's like a couple grand, I would. But
not a cash out guy. But I bet a lot of money every day. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I'm pretty. But if this is something that like you're gonna go to sleep and he doesn't have a touchdown and you're like not like sad, but you're kind of like maybe you feel it in your stomach a little bit. You're like, I really should cash. Then it's like you should cash out now. You know what I mean? It's one of those. If you're betting parlays, it's high variance. You're gonna lose a lot, and every once in a while you're gonna win big. In my opinion, that's the risk I think you sign up for. But if that money would, mean something to you, and you're okay just being fine with it, then cash out. It's kind of a personal preference thing. And it's why it's kind of a tough. I feel like I get this question a lot, and it's like you got to figure out what's best. You know what I mean? Like if the money, if it, I don't know, it's not my personal strategy, but I know it's an abnormal example because I bet a lot and often, you know what I mean? But if it matters and the money would be real good, then yeah, cash out, go for it.
For sure. And he's minus 120 too. So I mean, you probably get a decent cash out number, you know what I mean?
Crazy.
Let's take a peek. Last thing, Dalton Schultz as a play. Do you like Dalton Schultz here? I don't know if I would want to bet my money on Dalton Schultz.
I bet him multiple times earlier in the season, and it's not like I didn't know he sucked. I wrote it up in the thing as well. Like this guy sucks, but he sucks. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like Dalton Schultz, it sucks Stover got injured because he would have taken his job 100%, and there would have been some juicy props along the way for me to make money because he was the preseason hero. And Schultz, they were kind of like, yeah, he looks better. He looks like that guy we thought we were getting from Dallas, and he doesn't. He looks like he did last year, which is a bummer because he was kind of banged up last year. I thought it might be a legit injury thing, but I think he, unfortunately, is just an average to below average tight end. So, frankly, I do not have much interest in Dalton Schultz. And also, his prices, I get Kirk is out. Prices are way higher than I thought they'd be. I might take under 39 or maybe under 16.5 long rec. I have to look more into it. I'm just speaking off the top of my head, but Schultz he's not impressed me at all tonight or this year or in 2 years, actually.
And then last one, looks like we got another one. We got CD Playa bringing up Seattle team total under or Kate Otten. Yeah, anything of those? You guys, any thoughts on those before we get out of here?
I don't know what the team total is right now. So
I think they're going to score some, but it's got to be like under 21.5, right? Or 22.5.
If you put a gun to my head, I'd take the under before I take the over, but I'm just probably not going to play it. But once again, I mean, if
22.5.
If Sam Darnold's seeing ghost early, maybe hop on that live under. It looks like getting a little PTSD there from the olden days. But I don't know. Yeah, it's just it's kind of a tricky spot, so I'll just stay away.
Yeah.
And then Auden, I like him. I think he has a good game, but not that good.
And then hopefully pray to the football gods that Charbonnet plays like fucking 8 fucking snaps tonight, and then maybe Seattle will score more points. If you want him to score less points, you want Kenneth Walker on the bench because it's like Charbonnet's going to run 2 yards. I think I saw he has a 2.6 yards per carry right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I will say Charbonnet is one of the best pass blocking running backs in football as well. So I feel like people aren't putting that in when he's out there. He's a great blocker and been very helpful on clear passing downs. And then, I mean, some of the advanced stats are a little bit more friendly to Charbonnet and a little bit less to Walker. So I don't know. I mean, obviously I get the general outrage of Charbonnet playing so much, but Kenneth Walker has never played a full season before. And I think they want to be healthy when the year comes to the end. So when it comes down to losing a couple, yards per carry on drives, I get that makes fantasy managers mad, but I think they have a long-term game plan here. And I think you got to keep Kenneth Walker healthy if you have, any hope of winning this year, and I think that's going to mean Charbonnet pretty much 6, 7, 8 carries every week, whether the community likes it or not, So that's just my take on that whole thing. Like Charbonnet, pass blocking is great. A lot of really good reps out there. And then, he'll just, kind of keep short yardage guy, keep Walker healthy. But Walker, when he looks good, he can look like one of the better guys out there. My thing is Kenneth Walker, I don't know, like, I think I said this before. I don't remember. He's like DeAndre Swift on crack. He's like, if he has a hole, he'll just demolish it. But the vision is not great. It's really never improved since the Michigan State days. He bounces outside randomly and loses like 6 yards a lot of the time because he's trying to make big plays. I like Kenneth Walker a lot. I've always been a huge fan, but he's not like a well-rounded running back. He's a home run hitter. Chase Brown was another guy when Chase Brown was having all this bad success. And like, it's just like if you put Kenneth Walker on this team, if Kenny got hit behind the line of scrimmage every play, he'd look like Chase Brown this year. So that's just my defense of the Charbonnet usage a little bit, I guess, is there's some reasons he's out there, but Walker, when used correctly and when out there, has been awesome this year.
Good stuff. All right, Stu, anything else for the people before we get out of here?
No, I'll say that was a long-ass show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope we had a good one right there. Nice little over-hour mark happens when you get a little double-header action, and I'm pumped for these games. These should be 2 really awesome games tonight. It's weirdly enough, I think I told you right before the show, I almost feel less confident in these 2 games in terms of spread or total than maybe any all year long. Like, I don't really know who's going to win, which obviously makes me kind of nervous. But I think that makes it for some fun football as well. So, and finally, I saw someone ask about Sean Tucker. We didn't talk about it. I personally,
he's at like 80%, ain't he? Rashad White's at like 80% snaps, ain't he?
Yeah, he's like playing way more. So, maybe touchdown I think would be your best bet, but they love Rashad in the red zone too. So probably not. I love the sneaky stuff like that, but probably not, unfortunately.
Yeah, no. And I mean, I don't know what that has anything to. I mean,
he's just defending.
They have to, but they have the ability to. Like a lot of the places don't even have the ability to spend that money. I hate Antanasio, so don't feel like I'm like a hater of all big markets, but it's gotten a little too fucking crazy when 2 players make up a full salary of another team.
Yeah, and Washington actually is more in that category of can but won't spend, which is even more free. It's like we're fucking the capital of the, but we don't. We have a whole offseason to get into that. I'll just leave it there. Thank you guys for watching. I don't want to start a baseball.
Yeah, right we won't rant, but no, we appreciate you guys. 50 of you guys still in here, an hour 10 in. Maybe a couple of you guys shoot me some DMs or whatever. I'll try to get some extra plays out because I'll probably have a lot of stuff out tonight. So should be good. Should be a good day. Excited to get after it. So we will see you guys on Wednesday, normal time. And then, like I said, I don't know what we're going to do for Friday. I don't know how it's going to work, but we'll for sure be free here for Wednesday and ready to go. So have a good one, guys. Best of luck, and we will catch you guys on Wednesday.